Now, this session is where we will learn how creativity works in fintech. Let's give a warm welcome to the moderator, Mr. Fedor Balashko, Head of Sales Fintech at TikTok, and his esteemed speakers of the session for Fintech Creative Excellence in TikTok. Gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Hello guys, my pleasure to be at the iFix again at this warm stage. So my name is Fedor, and together we're gonna talk about TikTok creative excellence and how to achieve it. And before we're gonna start our, I would say, fireside chat, let's briefly remember what TikTok is. So for those of you who are not aware, TikTok is a short video platform. And what is most important, our platform reach 1 billion users faster than any other platform in the world. So how did we achieve it? Because more than half of our advertisers, they tend to say that video content is more related to engage users and to make them participate or to purchase your product. So how does TikTok disrupt this industry? Because we create unique ecosystem of entertainment which is changing the world, and our users really like it because while people check other platforms, they come to TikTok to watch it. So in a nutshell, we have like a platform with more than 1 billion users globally who spend movie worth lengths every day on our platform. And how to start? So before starting, you need to make your first TikTok. So we believe that this process is a never-ending wheel, starting with ideation, continuing with production, and then optimization again, and again. So today, together with Moe from Creative Operations of TikTok.
Cool, thanks, Fedor. All right, guys, well, it's actually my first time here, not my second time, because he forgot to invite me the first time. My name is Moe, and I lead the Advertiser Enablement team in charge of overlooking everything related to creative products, and I'll get into what that means in a second, for Middle East, Turkey, Africa, and Central and South Asia.
And Ege, who represents our trusted agency partner, Influera, who helps us with creating creative assets for our clients.
Hello everybody, I'm Ege. I'm from Turkey, and actually this is my first time here as Moe. What we do with TikTok is, as we're partners in two of the products of TikTok, which we'll talk about in depth when we're going into the conversation, we actually create and support brands that want to create content for themselves on TikTok with different products. And like I said, we'll get in depth on what they are.
So just one thing I want to say is we know that there's this stigma, this myth that creating content for TikTok is difficult. We don't know how to do it. It's super hard. Yeah, do I work with creators? Do I just create my own content? How do I create my own content? Do I just repurpose content that I've created for other platforms? But the thing is, we've been working really hard over the last couple of years to create this wheel that we call the creative journey. And essentially what this wheel does is it helps unlock whatever creative challenge any advertiser is facing on the platform. And when I say creative challenge, I mean, or the reason why we call this a wheel in general is because it's an everlasting, it just keeps on going. And the reason why it keeps on going is because you might be great at producing the content, but you just need help in coming up with a cool new idea that actually works for the platform. Or let's say you already have an idea, let's say you can create the content, but it's not performing really well. And essentially, the most important thing is for it to perform really well, right? And then that's where we tap into the optimization part of the wheel. Now, essentially what Creative Ops does is we kind of simplify our mission statement, if you will, into three main elements. One, we need to make creating content easy. And what we mean by easy is you can click a button and you'll get content, and we'll explain how in a second. Second one is to make sure it's efficient. Now, we all know that the price of creating content can sometimes be expensive, but we'd much rather you invest that money onto the platform to get the highest amount of traffic than it is to invest in actually creating the content. So we've kind of simplified and made it, well, essentially more cost effective. And then the last one is to make it effective. And when we say effective, we mean it has to perform really well. And if it doesn't perform really well, we have tools to kind of help optimize that and see how we can kind of enhance and make sure that the performance is really optimal for the brand.
So, Moe, maybe a question for you at first. Let's imagine that there is a person who have never experienced TikTok app. By the way, guys, I'm asking you, have you all tried TikTok? Please raise your hand who has TikTok app on their phone. Okay. So we have some work to do in the process, but okay, let's imagine there is a person in the world who have never experienced TikTok, and they heard that TikTok is based on trends, and they are not very good at ideation. For me, I don't know what to shoot and why should I shoot. Where can I find these trends and how can I leverage it within advertising for my brand?
So there's kind of two ways to answer this question. The first way, and it might seem a bit obvious, I'd say is use the app. So the more you use the app, the more the algorithm kind of understands what kind of content you're into, and it'll start pushing that content directly for you. For example, if I go on my TikTok, it's mostly animals and jets. Now, I don't own a jet. I'm not rich enough to own a jet, but I just love watching people buy jets. It's a weird fantasy that I have, I guess.
Moe, sorry for interrupting you, but maybe I don't want to spend hours and hours on For You page in TikTok.
Fair enough. So if you don't want to spend hours and hours on TikTok, we actually have a tool called Creative Center. Now, can I just get a show of hands really quickly who's heard of the Creative Center? Perfect. 2 people. You guys don't count. You're TikTok employees. All right, awesome. So I'm glad you guys haven't heard of it because you're about to experience it now. So the Creative Center essentially is your hub for getting inspired on TikTok. And when I say getting inspired, I don't just mean finding the best trends. I don't just mean finding the trending music. I mean being able to get inspired on everything related to creativity on TikTok, from creative strategy tips to how to shoot the best content, generating scripts for your content, and of course, finding what's trending, whether be it a creator, whether be it a specific ad, whether be it a specific song, hashtag, etc., etc. All of that you can find on the hub directly. And we know that sometimes it can be a bit daunting to kind of navigate through the hub. So we've introduced a new tool, actually, and I want Ege actually a little bit to talk about this tool because I know that they use it a lot when they're working with us, when they come up with ideas for the different brands that we service.
Yes, so whenever you get introduced to a new tool, you might think that it's crazy. There's like too much content. You have to watch all of it, digest all of it and find a TikTok trend for your brand. It might seem hard. So what you do, just use the Creative Assistant, which is an AI that TikTok created. Enter a prompt like describe your company, describe what you want to do in TikTok. And what it does is search through all the ads and found out the ones that are successful in TikTok. And if you want a script, it generates you a script. If you want a content idea, it generates you many content ideas, which you can then continue on with production. So using the Creative Assistant for your company is super easy, and with TikTok's AI, it actually finds out the ones that will be most successful for your company and which will work. So this is, like the Mo said, this is the first way to start your TikToks. Found out an idea that you want to work on. Shoot that content yourself and try it out as much as you can, because TikTok is a platform where you have to try out something more and more and more in order to find out the best way, and then keep on optimizing that content in order to do better every time. And Creative Assistant is actually a really good place to start. Mo, if you want, I can talk about the second pathway as well.
But actually, before that, I just want to give a comment on the Creative Assistant, because I actually just ran this test this morning before I came here. So who here knows who Lionel Richie is? The famous musician. So Lionel Richie's daughter, Sophia Richie, recently became very famous on TikTok. And I tested something on Creative Assistant this morning, and I simply asked it, how did Sophia Richie grow so fast on TikTok? I'm not going to give you the answer, because I actually want you guys to test it too. But it basically gave me 4 strategies that she followed in order to grow really quickly on TikTok. So the point that I'm trying to make is Creative Assistant isn't just help me find an idea for my brand. It can support you in any kind of brainstorming that you're trying to do to ensure that you achieve success on the platform from a creative standpoint.
So guys, we came up with ideation, but when it comes to production, I believe there are two types of people. On the one hand, maybe there is someone who is very production savvy, I would say, who wants to do everything on their own. And on the other hand, there are busy people, like busy marketers, for example, chief marketing officer of Forex client who wants to outsource everything. Do we guys can help them to navigate in both ways within first and third party solutions provided by TikTok?
Hello again. We are the solution actually. As a partner of TikTok, we are Influera, by the way. My company is named Influera. What we can do, and agencies like us, like TikTok partners can do, is to support you guys in actually all of the phases of TikTok content production, starting from ideation to production to optimization. What we do is basically, take your company, understand your goals, and showcase your product in the most TikTok-like way possible, so that you don't have to go throughout all those tests to, do it yourself, and we take care of all the business. But also, if you want to, go ahead and use the do-it-yourself method. As we talked, you have the AI assistant to figure out the best ideas to showcase your product. And also we have CapCut, which is a tool of TikTok as well, and it's an amazing tool. You don't have to, know so in-depth editing skills. You don't have to, get in really in depth with a product. It's really useful. It's super simple. It's drag and drop. Just open it on your computer or even your mobile phone. We sometimes use it to edit as well for our clients. Just use it, drop in your videos, which you've generated prompts from the AI assistant, and obviously you have to do some edits, add some effects, transitions, blah blah blah. But the more you watch TikTok, you will find it easier to edit as well, because you know how to edit and what works on TikTok. And CapCut actually provides them in a super simple way, where you can find out the trending sounds, the trending effects, transitions, etc. And everything is super simple in CapCut. So if you want to edit your videos yourself, trust me, it will be really easy. That's what we do for clients as well. But again, if you want to go the second way, if you're a CFO, CEO that doesn't want to spend much time in production of your company, there are agencies like us, which TikTok will provide for you guys, and we will take care of all the business that you want on TikTok.
Yeah, so I get, when you want to create content, let's say you need support, you need a managed service. I think first question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to work with content creators, or do I want ads for my brand? Because these are very two different paths you can take, right? So let's assume the second path, which is essentially I want ads for my brand. I just want to create videos that I can run at any point in time on the platform. I don't want it to live on any specific page. So we have a platform called the TikTok Creative Exchange, or TTCX for short. You're going to see we love our little acronyms, and we have a lot of TTC, etc. And this one is TTCX. Now, essentially what TTCX is a platform. It's a hub where you can go in, submit a brief, and you'll be matched through a very unique algorithm based on your brand, based on your brief, with a partner that is best suited to match this brand. Now, essentially, if you submit a brief on TTCX, this is how you can find Influera, right? And then what will happen is they'll contact you, they'll get a, kind of a bigger debrief from you, let's call them, in more detail. And then they'll come back to you with concepts, they'll come back to you with ideas, which you can obviously take a look, give some feedback, and then they'll shoot the content for you and give you the assets ready for you to use directly on the platform. Now, the cool thing is you never really have to leave the TikTok ecosystem, because once you submit a brief on the platform, you can approve on the platform, you can leave comments on the platform, and then you can even launch the ad directly on the platform. So it's synced to your Ads Manager account, which is essentially how you launch the ads and you buy the traffic. Now, let's say you want to take the route of working with creators. So again, here you kind of have two different paths you can take when you want to work with creators. Now, the first path is, if you know the creator you want to work with, if you have an influencer management team, a creator marketing team, and you kind of just want them to go ahead and scout for creators, reach out to creators, etc., but you just need help finding the right creators on TikTok, you can leverage the TikTok Creator Marketplace. Remember acronyms, TTCM. Now, what is the Creator Marketplace? So the Creator Marketplace is your access to first-party data. So it's our tool. All the data there is updated in real time. It's updated every 24 hours. And essentially you can access it at any time, where it'll help you search for the best creator based off of the different filters that you can put, and you can even shortlist them into one specific shortlist, and you can even reach out to them directly on the platform. Now, the only thing you can't do, not yet at least, is to pay the creators directly on the platform. You still have to go offline for that, but we're working on it, so hopefully we'll have an update for you soon. Now, let's say you want a more managed / self-serve service when you want to work with creators. And this is where we go into something called the Creative Challenge, or TTCC. Again, acronyms. So we have TTCX, TTCM, TTCC. Now, what is Creative Challenge? So essentially, the Creative Challenge is submit a brief on a platform. That brief gets sent out to a plethora of creators that are vetted, trained on our policy, trained on specific verticals. So Fintech, for example, we have luxury creators, beauty creators, fashion, etc., the whole shebang. And essentially what they'll do is they'll keep submitting content, and you'll keep getting content pretty much every single week. It can range from 10 to 30 pieces of content. Now, why is this important? Because you'll be able to have access to creator content at scale, which we know is a very big pain point for most clients, right? Because working with creators means you have to contact them and contract them and do this whole process that takes anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. Well, with Creative Challenge, you don't have to do any of that because we're taking care of all that for you. So we're paying the creators on your behalf. It's completely funded by TikTok. You don't have to pay for the creator themselves. And all you have to do is actually just invest behind the assets that you receive from the creators. Now, today, Creative Challenge is only available in a select few markets, but in the next couple of weeks, let's say towards mid-Q2, it's going to be available pretty much all over the world, and you'll be able to access and target pretty much any market you want all over the world.
So to sum it up, if I understand you right, guys, we have like both solutions. First one is very easygoing, CapCut. Even I made some of my TikToks. Unlucky, they're not so popular. But on the other hand, we have like a lot of third-party solutions which can connect you directly with creators who can take care of your business, either connect you with such agencies like Influera, who will take care for all stages, starting from ideation and finishing with polished and uploaded TikToks to your ad account. So, but Mo, you've said that cost of production is higher and higher. And even in TikTok, maybe like 2 years ago, it was like very well spread among different clients that you can shoot raw on your mobile phone, on your selfie camera, like ask your marketing manager to shoot some TikToks, show you USPs of your products, and it will be selling fast. But now it became more and more professional, I mean in TikTok production. So, and I hope that all our potential clients who are sitting in this audience will spend more and more money, so they can face so-called creative burnout. So how can we help them to make the lifespan of creative asset longer and to extend it?
That's a great question. So I'm going to ask you guys actually a question. So how many times have you been on TikTok or any platform in general and you've seen the same ad 4 times a day for about 6 weeks? And at some point you either do one of two things. You just close the app or you click that little report button and this is spam, right? Now, this is a problem. This is a problem in advertising in general. And the way that we fixed it is when you launch an ad on TikTok, you have to go through the TikTok Ads Manager platform, TTAM. Remember, acronyms. So once you go on the Ads Manager account, we've actually embedded certain tools that you have to actually go through. So if you've launched ads, you actually know these tools, or sorry, you use these tools, you might not know them. But essentially what these tools do is they try and solve for that problem that I mentioned earlier. And the way they do that is they give different iterations for your ad. So if you upload one piece of content, which we never recommend, always upload more, but let's say you upload one piece of content with one caption or one text to go with this piece of content. What it will do is it will try and give you different iterations of that piece of content along with the caption, and it will rotate it. So the same user does not see the same piece of content multiple times all over. So the frequency goes down, but the frequency of the ad group as a whole still remains really high, which is essentially what you want. Now, this is one way that we fight creative fatigue. Now, the other way is we have also a tool embedded within Ads Manager that will essentially check the ad. And when we say check the ad is because no one likes to see, in general, people tend to skip over ads, right? But if it's a really good ad, people will like it. People will actually watch it. People will share it with their friends and family. People will buy, people will subscribe, people will download, whatever your call to action may be. Now, we have a tool that actually checks to make sure that the ad is a high quality ad. And what do we mean by high quality? Now, quality is a very subjective term, right? I might find something very interesting. You might find something very boring. We're human beings. Everybody's different. But when we say quality here, we have a kind of a checklist that the algorithm goes through. And this checklist basically looks for, does it have music? Because we all know that TikTok is a sound-on platform. Nobody watches TikTok with no sound. Is the first frame, is there a black screen, or is there anything wrong with the first 3 seconds, which we know is the most important 3 seconds of an ad? Is the text that's being shown, if you have text in the video, is it being covered? So is it where the little buttons are? We call that the safe zone. So it'll basically do a hygiene check on your ad to make sure that it's as high quality as it can be. And then it'll create the different iterations. And so when you launch it, you prolong the creative fatigue. Now, this does not mean that if you run through the products, the ad is not going to reach creative fatigue at some point. Of course it will. It's only normal. The average lifespan of an ad depends on industry. But in fintech, we've realized it's anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. So if it lives longer than that anyways, it's probably best to refresh it. And you can use TTCX for that. You can use CapCut for that. But if it doesn't, or if it starts to perform really poorly within, let's say, first week or so, then most probably you didn't do a proper hygiene check. So that's kind of the way that we tackle creative fatigue, and we kind of ensure that your ads perform better for longer periods of time.
So guys, we have created a special slide for you, so you can make a photo, and later there will be slide with QR codes for all of the instruments that we have highlighted. So breaking it down on the ideation, for easy brainstorm, you can use like Creative Center and Creative Assistant. We are production, you can work both ways, do it everything by yourself or outsource it to agencies or to creators. And of course, for optimization, we also have built-in tools for our ads managers that can help you to increase the lifespan of your ad. And
yeah, I just want to say one thing. So just for clarity's purpose, all the tools that we offer as a platform are completely free. And what I mean by completely free is you don't have to pay any subscription fee for it. And for all of them, actually, you don't need to pay a cost. So for example, when you utilize TTCX, when you work with one of our partner agencies, for example, Influera, and they create this content for you, usually you have to pay for this content, right? And then you have to invest money behind the content. So if you utilize our platforms, it's completely funded by us. So well, I don't like to use the word free, but technically it is free. So you don't have to pay any cost for it. The content is free. The content is free, of course. We'll pay them. You guys don't have to pay them, so don't worry about that. The only one where you'll have to actually pay is if you want to work with creators completely on your own, because obviously we can't control that. The creators will have their own fees. Now, if you go to the next slide, we have the QR. You don't have the QR codes? It's the one after? Okay. Yep. We'll show you the QR codes after, but I actually, so one of the main reasons why we invited Ege here and Influera over to be on stage with us is because A, they're experts in the fintech world, and B, they actually won a few awards on a campaign that they worked on with one of their fintech clients a few months ago, I believe. So,
yep, that's correct. So we've talked about many things that are on TikTok platforms, and I'll actually be talking about a little case which we've done a couple of months ago, like Mo said, which created a huge impact. But before telling you guys about that, if you want to grow your company, if you want to get more users onboarded, you should be using TikTok. Like, no matter what it does, there is something in TikTok for everybody. So you should be using TikTok. And in order to use TikTok, you should start today. I think that's the most important thing on TikTok. You have to try out different contents every day, if not every week. And one will work. Somehow one will work. Working with agencies to do your TikTok is also a great method because we can as agencies find out the quicker solution to growing your business, but you should just pull out your phone and film something yourself, because what you tell will resonate with somebody and you'll gain more users. And this actually, what we've done with Midas is a piece of content that actually really suits to what I've just told you guys about. So before telling you guys about the content, I'll tell you a little bit about the app. It's actually a platform where you can buy global stocks. It's a Turkish platform, and it's basically a Turkish Robinhood, if you know what I'm saying. So when we started working with Midas, it had around 8,000 followers on TikTok. Right now it has around 100K followers. And a really important fact is that two-thirds of Midas's users, which is equal to 1 million people, came directly from TikTok. 66%. It's an amazing number. And this video, not singularly, but this video series, which we said the name is Acting Like a Stock Owner, generated 1 million downloads for Midas. Now I'm going to tell you what it is and how we've done it. We've actually used the AI assistant in order to figure out the content's idea, and we've definitely edited it with CapCut, as you can see by the subtitles. It's a super default CapCut font, and it was like a really easy edit. It had only jump cuts and stuff. So the piece of content, the girl goes into Starbucks and she checks around, sees if everything is okay, asks employees if the store is doing good, blah blah blah. And there's a voiceover where the girl says that she's actually a stock owner of the Starbucks company. However, we see a quick scene from her Midas screen where she holds only a Cool Lime worth of shares in her account. It's like $10 worth of shares. So what we done was actually tell the people that they could buy shares, even $10 worth from Midas, and act like a stock owner. This video, in the end, where we posted it from the brand's account, and we didn't spend anything, by the way, except for the Cool Lime price, was shared across all platforms. It had 3,000 reposts on Twitter, YouTube, and even TikTok, and it had over 40 million views, which then brought us to creating a trend. Actually, people were then acting like stock owners and visiting the places of the companies where they owned stocks, and this was actually brought to Turkish slang, acting like a stock owner in TikTok. Everybody tried to create the same thing, and little did they know, when they were reposting or creating the same thing, they were actually doing an advertisement of our company because we created a trend. And that's actually how TikTok and the tools that we've just talked about works. If you can find the correct creative where people will copy your content, and act more on it, your brand will grow virally and amazingly. This single piece of content, like I said, allowed Midas to gain 1 million downloads throughout a couple of months, and cost-wise, I think it was amazing for the brand. So do use TikTok.
I don't think we've ever seen 1 million downloads ever as a case study. Just one last thing I want to show you guys. So this is the QR codes that we were talking about that helps you access the tools. So everything in dark blue, navy blue, is already embedded within Ads Manager. So if you scan it, it'll take you to Ads Manager. So if you don't have an account, you can't really access. But everything in teal and yellow is a standalone product. So you can access directly there. If you're, for whatever reason, you're not able to use the tool, you just have to create an account. So, and everything's free, like I said. So just create an account, and you'll be able to use it, use all the AI features, and basically begin creating content on TikTok.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us today. As we are running out of time, we will be happy to answer all your questions face to face. We will be here during the whole day of this expo. So thank you guys. See you.
Q&A or no Q&A?